This is the word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
What do you do when you're not sure? That's the topic of my sermon today. You look for God's direction and can't find it. Last year when President Kennedy was assassinated, who among us did not feel the most profound disillusionment, despair? What now? Which way? What do I say to my kids? What do I tell myself? It was a time of people coming together, bound together by a common feeling of hopelessness. It was a public experience shared by everyone in our society. It was awful, but we were in it together. How much worse it must be for the lone man, lone woman who was stricken by a private calamity. No one knows he's sick. No one knows she's lost her last real friend. No one knows that I have done something wrong. Imagine the isolation. You look at the world as through a window. On one side of the glass, happy, untroubled people. On the other side, you. Something has happened. You have to carry it, and it's incommunicable. For those so afflicted, only God knows their pain, their secret, the secret of their alienating sorrow. And when such a person, as they must, howls to the sky, to God, "Help me!" What if no answer comes? Silence. I want to tell you a story. A cargo ship sank and all her crew were drowned. Only this one sailor survived. He built a raft of some spars and, being of a nautical discipline, turned his eyes to the heavens and read the stars. He set a course for his home and, exhausted, fell asleep. Clouds rolled in and blanketed the sky. For the next 20 nights, as he floated on the vast ocean, he could no longer see the stars. He thought he was on course, but there was no way to be certain. As the days rolled on, and he wasted away with fevers, thirst, and starvation, he began to have his doubts. Had he set his course right? Was he going on towards his home, or was he horribly lost, doomed to a terrible death? No way to know. The message of the constellations, had he imagined it because of his desperate circumstance, or had he seen truth? Had he seen truth once and was holding on to it without further reassurance? That was his dilemma on a voyage without apparent end. There are those of you in church today who know exactly the crisis of faith I described. I want to say to you, doubt can be a bond as powerful and sustaining as certainty. When you're lost, you are not alone. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen.
Come in.
Have you a moment, Sister Aloysius?
Ah, Sister James, come in. Who's watching your class?
They're having art.
Art. Waste of time.
It's only an hour a week.
Much can be accomplished in 16 minutes.
Yes, Sister Aloysius. I just wondered if I might know what you have done about William London.
William London. Oh yes, I sent him home.
Oh dear. So he's still bleeding.
Oh yes.
His nose just let loose and started gushing during the Pledge of Allegiance.
Was it spontaneous?
What else would it be?
Self-induced?
You mean you think he might have intentionally given himself a nosebleed?
Exactly.
No.
Sister James, you are so innocent. William London is a fidgety boy, and if you do not keep right on him, he will do anything to escape his chair. He will set his foot on fire for half a day out of school.
But why?
He has a restless mind.
But that's good.
No, it's not. His father is a policeman, and the last thing he wants is a rowdy boy on hand. I'm telling you, that boy is headed for a lot of trouble. Puberty has got hold of him, and I strongly suspect that he will not graduate high school. But that's beyond our jurisdiction. We simply have to get him through the door, and then he's somebody else's project. Ordinarily, I assign our more experienced sisters to watching 8th grade, but I'm working within my constraints. Are you in control of your class?
I think so.
Good. Usually more children are sent down to me,
Oh, I try to take care of things by myself.
and that's where you're making an error. You report to me, I to the Monsignor, he to the Bishop, all the way up to the Holy Father. There is a chain of discipline. Make use of it.
Yes, sister.
How's Donald Mueller doing?
Steady.
Good. Has anyone hit him?
No.
And what about that girl, Linda Conti? Have you seated her far away from the boys?
As far as space permits. But it doesn't do much good.
Just get her through intact.
So, should I go? Is something the matter, sister?
No, why? Is something the matter?
I don't think so.
Then nothing's the matter then.
Well, thank you, sister. I just wanted to check on William's nose.
He had a ballpoint pen.
Excuse me, sister?
William London was fidgeting with a ballpoint pen while waiting for his mother to pick him up from school. I hope he's not using it for his assignments.
No, of course not.
Good. I'm sorry I even allowed cartridge pens into the school. The students should ideally be using fountain pens. Always the easy way out these days. And you know what they say? Every easy choice today has its consequence tomorrow. Mark my words.
Yes, sister.
Ballpoint pens make them press down, and when they do, they write like monkeys.
I don't allow them ballpoint pens.
Good. Penmanship is a dying art all across our country. Do you have some time? Sit down. We might as well have a talk. I've been meaning to talk to you. I watched and observed your class at the beginning of the term on the New Deal. Not bad. But I want to caution you not to idealize Franklin Roosevelt. He was a good president and all, but he did pack the Supreme Court. And I do not believe in idolizing late historical figures. If you want to talk about saints, do it in religion.
Yes, sister.
Also, I question your enthusiasm for history.
But I love history.
Well, that's exactly my meaning. You favor history and risk swaying the children to favor that subject over the others. I think it's a mistake.
I've never thought about it like that. I'll try to treat my other lessons with more enthusiasm.
No, give them their history lesson by all means, but without adding all the extra sugar in it. Tell me more about your class. How would you characterize the students of 8B?
I don't know where to begin.
Mr. Lobo, no running down the hallways, and Miss Conti, pull that head down! You were saying?
What do you want to know, sister?
Well, let's begin with Stephen Inzio.
Stephen Inzio has the highest marks in the class.
Noreen Horan,
Second highest.
Brenda McNulty.
Third highest.
You see my point? I know that Stephen Inzio, Brenda McNulty, and Noreen Horan are 132 in your class. There are 48 such students in each grade period. I make it my business to know all 48 of them. I'm not saying this to aggrandize myself, but simply to illustrate the importance of paying attention. You must pay attention, Sister James.
Yes, sister.
I can't be everywhere.
Am I falling short, sister?
These 3 students in your class, are they the brightest?
No, I wouldn't say they are, but they definitely work the hardest.
Very good. And that's a good ethic. What good is a gift if it's left in the box? What good is a high IQ if you're staring at the window with your mouth agape? Be hard on the clever ones. And don't be fooled by cleverness, not theirs and certainly not yours. Good teachers do not perform. They cause the students to perform.
Do I perform?
As if on a Broadway stage.
Oh dear, I had no conception.
You are simply showing off. You like to see yourself 10 feet tall in the eyes of your children. Another thing occurs to me. Where were you before this?
Mount St. Margaret's?
Oh dear, all girls.
Yes.
I feel I must remind you, Sister James, that boys are made of coal, soot and tar paper. They are an entirely different breed.
I feel I know how to handle them.
Perhaps you're making an error, and perhaps you're not working hard enough.
Oh,
No tears.
I thought you were satisfied with me.
Satisfaction is a vice. Do you have a handkerchief?
Yes.
Use it. Do you think Socrates was satisfied? Good teachers are never content. There are 372 students in this school. This community needs constant spiritual, human, and educational vigilance. I can't afford an excessively innocent teacher to mind my 8th grade. It's simply self-indulgent. You must be canny, Sister James.
Yes, sister.
When William London gets a nosebleed, be skeptical. Don't let a little blood befuddle your judgment. God gave you a heart and a head. The heart is warm, but your wits must be cold. Liars must be frightened to lie to you. They must be uncomfortable in your presence, although I doubt they are.
I don't know. I've never thought about it.
The children must understand that you can see right through them.
But wouldn't that be a little frightening?
Only to the ones that are up to no good.
But I want my students to feel they can talk to me.
They're children. They can talk to each other. You be their fierce moral guardian, Sister James, and their gatekeeper. If you are vigilant, they won't need to be.
I'm not sure what you want me to do, sister.
And if you sense that your class requires some kind of understanding, but you don't understand, come to me.
Yes, sister.
That's why I'm here. And that's why I am the principal of this school.
Yes, sister.
You stay for the specialty classes,
Yes.
but you're here now while your class is in progress.
I was just a little concerned about William.
So you have art in class.
Yes, Mrs. Bell, she comes in.
And you take the children down to the basement for dance with Mrs. Shields?
Every Thursday.
Another waste of time.
Oh, but everyone loves the Christmas pageant.
I don't love it. Frankly, it offends me. Last year, the student playing Our Lady was wearing lipstick. Oh, I was waiting in the wings for that little wink. What else?
Then there's music.
Yes. That strange woman with a portable piano. What's wrong with her neck?
Some kind of goiter. Poor woman.
Mrs. Carlson.
That's right.
We used to have sisters teaching that class. Not enough sisters. What else?
Then there's physical education and religion.
Ah, yes. For that you have Father Flynn.
Yes.
And you stay for those?
Mostly, unless I have reports to fill.
What do you think of Father Flynn?
Oh, he's a brilliant man. What a speaker.
Yes. His sermon last Sunday was poetic.
He's actually very good too at teaching basketball. I wouldn't think a man of the cloth, the personality type, to be teaching basketball. But he has a way he has, very natural, with dribbling and shooting.
What was the sermon about?
What?
His sermon last Sunday, what was it about?
Well, doubt. He was talking about doubt.
Why?
Excuse me, sister?
Well, sermons come from somewhere, don't they? Is Father Flynn in doubt? Or does he suspect someone else is in doubt?
I suppose you'd have to ask him.
Oh no, that would be most inappropriate. We nuns do not share intimate information with priests.
I'm a little concerned.
About what?
The time art class will be over in a few minutes. I should go.
Have you noticed anything, Sister James?
About what?
I want you to be alert.
I don't believe I'm following you, sister.
Well, I'm sorry I'm not more forthright. I don't want to cause anything by saying it, but I'm concerned, perhaps needlessly, about matters concerning St. Nicholas School.
Academically,
I wasn't inviting a guessing game. I want you to pay attention.
well, of course, sister, I will pay attention. And I'll try not to perform. And I'll try to be less innocent. I'm sorry you're disappointed in me, but please be assured, I will try my best, honestly.
Look at you. You trade anything for a warm look. If you're looking for reassurance, you will be fooled. If you forget yourself and study others, you will not be fooled. One other thing and you can go. Sister Veronica is going blind.
Oh, how horrible!
This is not generally known, and I do not wish it to be known outside this office. If they find out in the rectory, she'll be gone, and I cannot afford to lose any more sisters. So please, if you see her making her way down the stairs into the hallway, lightly extend your hand as if in fellowship and see that she doesn't destroy herself. Go.
All right, boys, settle down. Now, come. The thing about playing from the foul line, it's psychological. The rest of the game, you're cooperating with your teammates, competing against the other team. But at the foul line, it's you against yourself. And the danger is, you start to think. And when you think, you stop breathing, your body locks up. So you need to learn to relax, take a breath, unlock your knees. There's something for you to watch, Jimmy. You stand there like a parking meter. Come up with a routine of what you do. Shift your weight, move your hips. You think that's funny, Rob? What's funny is, you are never going to get a foul shot. Don't worry if you think you look silly. They won't think you're silly when you get that basket. So come up with a routine, concentrate on the routine, and you'll forget to get tensed up. Alright? Now, on a completely different matter. I've noticed several of you boys have dirty fingernails. I don't want to see that. I'm not talking about the length of the nails. I'm talking about cleanliness. See, look at my nails. They're long. I like them long, but see how clean they are. That makes it okay. There is this boy I grew up with, Timmy Matheson. He never had clean nails. He used to stick his fingernails up his nose into his mouth. Guys, listen, this is the true story. Learn to concentrate. He got spinal meningitis and died a horrible death. Sometimes it's the little things that get you. Alright? Alright guys, what am I going to do with you, right? Can I see your fingernails, Mr. Conroy? If you try talking to girls with those filthy paws, Mr. Conroy, they're going to take off like being chased by the red Chinese, alright? What am I going to do with you guys? Alright, come on, come dressed up, come out of the rectory, have some Kool-Aid and cookies, and let's have a gun session. Let's go, 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 go!
sister.
Ah, Sister James. Mr. McGinn pruned that bush all right, but he neglected to protect it during the frost.
Have we had a frost?
And it comes, it's too late.
You know about gardening.
A little. Where's your class?
The girls are having music.
And the boys?
They're up at the rectory.
Ah, with Father Flynn.
Yes, he's giving them a talk.
Oh, on what subject?
How to be a man.
If only sisters and nuns were allowed in the rectory, I would like very much to be a part of that talk.
Sister?
Come, sit. I don't know how to be a man. I'd like to know what's involved. Have you ever given the girls a talk on how to be a woman?
No, I wouldn't be competent.
Why not?
I just don't think I would. I took my vows at the beginning. At the beginning.
Oh, I see. Did you know that our founder, Blessed Mother Seton, was married and had 5 children before embarking on her vows?
I've often wondered how she managed so much in one life.
Life is perhaps longer than you think, and the dictates of the soul more numerous. I was married.
You were!
You could at least hide your astonishment a little.
I didn't know.
My husband died in the war in Italy against Adolf Hitler.
I'm really sorry, sister.
But I'm like you. I wouldn't know the last thing about lecturing teetering girls on the subject of womanhood. What is it? 40 feet across? The convent here and the rectory there? We might as well be separated by the Atlantic Ocean. I used to potter around the garden, but Monsignor Benedict does his reverie at quixotic times, and we are rightly discouraged to be in the company of priests unattended. He's 79, but nevertheless.
The Monsignor is very good, isn't he?
Yes, but he's oblivious.
To what?
I don't believe he knows who the President of the United States is. I mean, no disrespect to him, of course, but just that he's otherworldly, to the extreme.
Is it that he's innocent, Sister Aloysius?
You have a sly work about you, Sister James. Be careful of it. How is Donald Mueller doing?
He's 13th in the class.
Good, I know. He's getting his average grades and passing his subjects. Has anyone hit him?
Oh,
Someone will. And when that happens, you bring them to me.
I'm not so sure anyone will.
Sister James, I don't know if you've noticed. We have a statue of St. Patrick to the left of the church altar and a statue of St. Anthony's to the right. This parish serves Irish and Italian families. Someone will hit that boy.
He has a protector,
Oh? Who?
Father Flynn.
What?
He's taken an interest ever since Donald went on the altar boys. I thought I should inform you.
I told you to come to me, although I hoped you never would.
Maybe I shouldn't have.
I knew once you did, something would be set in motion. So it's happened.
What? I'm not telling you that. I'm not even certain what you mean.
Yes, you are.
I have tried to become more cold in my thinking as you suggested, but I feel like I've lost my way a little, sister. I had the most terrible dream last night. I want to be guided by you and be responsible to the children, but I want my peace of mind. I must tell you, I've been longing for the return of my peace of mind.
And you shall not have it. It is not in our place to be complacent. That's what we give the children. That's what we give them.
I think I'm beginning to understand you a little, sister. But it feels so unsettling to look at things and people with suspicion. It feels as if I'm less close to God.
When one is faced with wrongdoing and the need to act, one steps away from God, but in His service.
I've become more reserved in class. I feel separated from my students.
Good. That's as it should be.
But I feel wrong. And about this other matter, I have no evidence. I'm not at all certain that anything's happened.
We can't wait for that.
But what if it's nothing?
Then it's nothing. I don't mind being wrong, although I doubt I am.
Then what's to be done?
I don't know.
You will know what to do.
I don't know what to do. There are parameters that protect him and hinder me.
But he can't be safe if it's established. I doubt he could recover from the shame.
What have you seen?
I don't know.
I said, what have you seen?
He took Donald to the rectory.
What for?
A talk.
Alone?
Yes.
When?
A week ago.
Why didn't you tell me?
I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. It never occurred to me that there could be something wrong about it.
Of all the children, Donald Mueller, I suppose it makes sense.
How does it make sense?
The little sheep that's lagging behind is always the one that the wolf goes for.
I don't know that anything's wrong.
Our first colored student. I thought they'd be fighting, a parent or two to deal with. I should have foreseen this possibility.
How could you have imagined it?
It is my job to outshine the fox in all its cleverness.
Maybe it's nothing.
Then why do you look like you've seen the devil?
It's just the way the boy acted when he came back to class.
He said something.
No, it was his expression. He looked frightened. He laid his head on the desk in the most peculiar way. And one other thing, I think there was alcohol on his breath. There was alcohol on his breath.
"8 years ago at St. Boniface, we had to have a priest removed. But I had Monsignor Scully then, whom I could rely on. Here, there's no man I can rely on, and men run everything. We're going to have to do it ourselves."
Can't you just report your suspicions?
To Monsignor Benedict? The man's guileless, and he would just ask Father Flynn.
Well, would that be such a bad idea?
And if he was satisfied with Father Flynn's response, he would just suppress the matter.
But maybe that's all that needs to be done, if it's true. If I had done something awful and if I was confronted with it, I'd be so repentant.
Sister, you must imagine someone very different from yourself. A man like that has already denied a great deal. If I tell Monsignor Benedict, and if he was satisfied with Father Flynn's rebuttal, he would just suppress the matter.
Well then, tell the bishop.
The hierarchy doesn't permit me to go to the church. No. Once it goes to Monsignor Benedict, the matter is out of my hands. I'm going to call Father Flynn on a pretext to the office and try and force it. You will have to be there.
Me? No! Why? Oh no, sister, I couldn't.
I can't be closeted alone with a priest. A sister must be in attendance, and it has to be you. The circle of confidence cannot be any wider. Think of the boy if this gets out.
I can't do it.
Why not? Are you squeamish?
I'm not equipped. I would be embarrassed. I couldn't possibly be present if the topic were to be spoken of.
Sister James, we don't have time for your witless adolescent scruples. I'm going to have to call him to the office, and you will have to be there.
You're supposed to tell the Monsignor.
What? That you saw a look in the boy's eyes? That perhaps you smelt alcohol on his breath? You will be branded a hysteric and transferred.
You could ask him.
Who?
The boy, Donald Mueller.
Or he'll deny it.
Why?
Shame.
You can't know that.
And what if he does point a finger, huh? How do you think this community will receive it? I'm going to call Father Flynn to my office on an unrelated matter. You will have to be there.
But what good can I do?
Aside from the unacceptability of a nun and a priest being alone in an office, I need a witness.
To what?
He may tell the truth and lie afterwards.
The boys are coming from the rectory. They look happy enough.
They look smug, like they're hiding a secret.
There he is.
Sister, I would certainly choose to live in innocence if I could. But innocence is wisdom only in a world without evil. We are confronted with wrongdoing, and we must act.
I must take the boys up to class.
Go on then, take them. I will be talking to you. And sister, discard this. Yes, this is St. Nicholas School. Yes, Mr. McGinn, thank you for calling back. Yes, I'm sorry about that windstorm we had last night. I didn't know there was a great wind in Ireland and you were there for it. Oh, how fascinating. Yes, I was calling because to request you to kindly remove the tree limb that's fallen in the courtyard. Sister Veronica tripped on it and fell on her face. She's all right, Mr. McGinn. She doesn't look any worse, Mr. McGinn. Thank you. Come in.
Good morning, Sister Aloysius. How are you doing today?
Oh, very well, Father. Good of you to come by.
Are we ready for the meeting?
We're just short of Sister James. Did you hear that wind last night?
I certainly did. Imagine how it must have been for the lone man sitting by a fire in his buckskins and listening to a sound like that. Imagine the loneliness, the immense darkness pouring in. How frightening it must have been.
I guess if one lacked a certain faith in God's protection, it would be frightening.
Did I hear that Sister Veronica has had a fall?
Oh, yes. Sister Veronica tripped on a tree limb and practically killed herself.
Is she all right?
She's fine.
Her sight isn't good, is it?
Her sight is fine. Nuns fall, you know.
I didn't know.
It's the habit. Catches us up more often than not. What with us being in black and white and falling like dominoes.
Have I passed the time?
Oh, not at all. Sister Aloysius and I were just having a nice conversation.
Good morning, Father. Good morning, Sister. I'm sorry I was delayed. Mr. McGinn has closed the courtyard to fix something and I had to go back through the convent and out the side door. And then I ran into Sister Veronica.
How is she?
She has a bit of a bloody nose.
I'm beginning to think that you're punching people.
Sister?
What with the incident that happened the other day with... Never mind. Come in. Close the door. But not quite. For form's sake. Would you care for a cup of tea, Father?
I would love a cup of tea.
Sister, perhaps you could pour Father a cup of tea, please?
Of course.
And pour one for yourself, too.
Would you like some tea, Sister?
I've already got my cup.
Do you have sugar, sister?
Sugar? I think I remembered to put it away for Lent last year and I must have forgotten. Although, oh, here it is. Although for want of practice, I begin to get a little... Your fingernails.
I like them long. The sugar, sister?
Yes, 1,
3.
3.
Sweet tooth.
1, 2. Would you care for some sugar?
Never. Not that there's anything wrong with sugar. Thank you.
Father, very good of you to come by. We are at our wits' end.
I think it's a great idea to discuss the Christmas pageant. Last year's effort was a little woebegone.
No, I loved it. But I love all Christmas pageants. I just love the nativity, the birth of the Savior, and the hymns, of course. Oh, little town of Bethlehem, oh, come, Emmanuel.
Sister James is co-directing the Christmas pageant with Mrs. Shields. I was wondering, Father, if there was anything new that we can add to it.
Well, we all love the Christmas hymns, but I think it'll be jolly to include a secular song.
Secular?
Yes. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas Everywhere you go. Something like that?
What would be the point of including a secular song?
Fun.
Or Frosty the Snowman.
Oh, that's a good one. We can have one of the boys dressed as a snowman and dance around.
Which boy?
We do tryouts.
Frosty the Snowman espouses a pagan belief in magic. The snowman comes to life when an enchanted hat is placed on his head. If the music were more somber, people would realize the lyrics frightening and the song heretical.
I never thought about Frosty the Snowman like
It
that.
should be banned from the airwaves.
Okay, so no Frosty the Snowman.
No. Well, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Well, that would be fine, I suppose. I think the parents would like it. What are you writing with that ballpoint pen?
Oh, just an idea for a sermon.
You had one just now.
I get them all the time.
How fortunate.
I forget them, so I write them down.
Well, what's the idea?
Intolerance.
Would you like some of tea, Father?
Not now, sister. I think a message of the Second Ecumenical Council is that the church should take on a more familiar face, reflect the local community. We should sing a song from the radio now and then, take the boys out on an ice cream.
Sweet too.
Yes. Take them out on a camping trip maybe.
Camping trip.
We should be friendlier. The children and the parents should see us as members of their family, not as emissaries from Rome. I think the pageant should be charming, like a community theatre.
But we are not members of their family. We are different.
Because of our vows,
Precisely.
I don't think we are so different. You know, sister, I'd like to have some more tea.
And they think we're different. The people of this parish trust us to be different.
I think we're getting off the subject, sister.
Yes, right back to it. I think we should be careful how we present Donald Mueller in the pageant.
Easy, sister, you don't spill. Easy.
Yes, Father.
What about Donald Miller?
Well, we must be careful neither to hide him nor put him forward.
Because of the color of his skin.
Exactly.
Why?
Oh, come, Father. You're being a little disingenuous.
I think he should be treated like every other boy.
But it was you who singled him out for special attention, didn't you? You held a meeting with him at the rectory a week ago.
Yes.
What are we talking about?
The boy, Donald Mueller.
He acted strangely when he came to class.
He did?
When he returned from the rectory, a little odd. Yes.
How did he act strangely?
I'm not sure how to explain it. He laid his head on the desk.
You mean you had an impression?
Yes,
And it come from the rectory, so you're asking me if I know anything about it?
that's it.
Are we here to discuss the pageant? Is that why I'm here, or is this what you wanted to discuss?
This.
Well, I'm not very comfortable.
Why?
What do you think? Something about your tone.
I would prefer a discussion of fact rather than tone.
Well, if I judged that my conversation with Donald Muller was of concern to you, sister, I would have sat you down and talked to you myself. I did not judge it to be of any concern to you.
Perhaps you're mistaken in what concerns me. The boy is in my school. His well-being is my responsibility.
His well-being is not at issue.
I'm not satisfied that that is true.
Did he say something?
No,
What happened at the rectory?
Happened? Nothing happened. I had a talk with the boy.
What about?
That was a private matter.
He's 12 years old. What can be private?
I say it again, sister, I object to your tone.
This is not about my tone or your tone, Father. It's about simply arriving at the truth.
Of what?
You know what I'm saying, aren't you? You're controlling the expression on your face, aren't you?
My face? You said you wanted to discuss the pageant, that's why I'm here. Am I to understand that you brought me into your office to confront me in some way? This is outrageous. I am not answerable to you. What are you accusing me of?
I'm not accusing you of anything, Father. I simply want to know the truth. What happened at the rectory?
I don't wish to continue this conversation any further. And if you're dissatisfied with it, I suggest you speak directly to the Monsignor. I can only imagine that your unfortunate behavior this morning is because of overwork. Perhaps you need a leave of absence. I may suggest it. Good morning, sister.
Good morning, Father.
There was alcohol on his breath when he returned to class.
Alcohol.
I did smell it on his breath.
Well,
Can't you leave this alone?
no.
I see there is no way out of this.
Take your time, Father. Would you like some more tea?
You should have left this alone.
Not possible.
Very well. Donald Miller served as altar boy last Tuesday morning. After Mass, Mr. McGinn caught him in the sacristy, drinking altar wine. When I found out, I sent for him. There were tears. He begged not to be removed from the altar boys. I took pity on him. I told him if no one else found out, I would let him stay on.
Oh, what a relief. That explains everything. Thanks be to God. Oh, look, sister, it was all a mistake.
And if I talk to Mr. McGinn?
Talk to Mr. McGinn by all means. But now that the boy's secret is out, I have to remove him from the altar boys, which I think is too bad, which is what I was trying to avoid.
You were trying to protect the boy.
That's right.
I would have done the same too. Is there any way Donald can stay on the altar boys?
I'm afraid no. Once one of the altar boys has had altar wine, he cannot stay as altar boy.
Of course, you're right. I'm just not the disciplinarian you are, sister. He's a colored boy. That it affect my thinking on this matter? It will be commented on that he's no longer serving at Mass. It's a public thing. A certain ignorant element in the parish will be confirmed to their beliefs.
He has to be held to the same standard as the others, isn't it?
That's all. Now, do you want to discuss the pageant, or was that just
This was the issue.
are you satisfied?
Yes.
Very well. I'll take your leave. I have some writing to do.
Thomas.
That's right. I am not pleased with how you handled this, sister. The next time you have such dark ideas, I suggest you speak to the Monsignor.
Well, what a relief. He cleared it all up.
And you believe him?
Of course.
Or is it that it's easier to believe him?
But we can corroborate the story with Mr. McGinn.
Yes, such types of people are very clever. They are not easily undone.
Well, I'm convinced.
No, you're not. You just want things to go back to the way they were because you want simplicity back.
I want no further part of this.
I will bring him down with or without your help.
How can you be so sure he's lying?
Experience.
You just don't like him. You don't like that he uses a ballpoint pen. You don't like that he takes 3 lumps of sugar in his tea. You don't like that he likes Frosty the Snowman. And you're letting that convince you of something terrible, just terrible. Well, I like Frosty the Snowman. And it would be nice if the school weren't run like a prison. And I think it's a nice thing that I love to teach history and I might inspire my students to love it too. But if you judge that to mean I'm not fit to be a good teacher, then so be it.
Sit down. In ancient Sparta, important matters were resolved on who shouted the loudest. Fortunately, we are not in ancient Sparta. Do you honestly believe that the children in this school are treated like inmates in prison?
No. Actually, they all seem to be fairly happy. But they're all uniformly terrified of you.
Good. And that's how it should be. Aloysius Bouvier, principal of St. Nicholas School. Am I speaking with Mrs. Muller? Yes, Mrs. Muller. I wanted to discuss a matter regarding your son. I'd like you and your husband to come down to the school and have a talk. When will it be convenient?
I want to tell you a story. A woman was gossiping with a friend about a man she hardly knew. I know none of you have ever done this. That night she had a dream. A great hand appeared over her, pointing down at her. She was immediately seized with an overwhelming sense of guilt. The next morning, she went to confession. She got the old parish priest, Father O'Rourke, and told him the whole thing. Is gossiping a sin? She asked the old man. Was that the hand of Almighty God pointing a finger at me? Should I ask your absolution? Father, have I done something wrong? Yes, says Father O'Rourke. Yes, you ignorant, badly brought up female. You have borne false witness against thy neighbor. You have played fast and loose with his reputation. You ought to feel heartily ashamed. So the woman said sorry and asked for forgiveness. Not so fast, says O'Rourke. I want you to go home, take a pillow up to your roof, cut it open with a knife, and return here back to me. So the woman went home, took a pillow off her bed, a knife from a drawer, went up the fire escape to her roof, and stabbed the pillow with the knife. She then returned to the old parish priest as instructed. Did you got to open the pillow with a knife? He asked. Yes. And what was the result? Feathers, she says. Feathers? He repeated. Yes, Father, there were feathers everywhere. Now, I want you to go back home and gather up every single feather that flew out on the wind. Well, she says, that can't be done. I don't know where they went. The wind took them all over. And that, says Father O'Rourke, is gossip. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
Glory be to the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Good evening, Sister James.
Good evening, Father.
What's that bird complaining about? What kind of a bird is it? Is it a starling? A grackle?
A crow?
Of course it is. Oh, were you praying? I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I wasn't praying.
You seem subdued.
I can't sleep.
Why not?
Bad dreams. Actually, one bad dream and I haven't slept right since.
About what?
When I looked in the mirror, there was a darkness where my face should be. It frightened me.
I can't sleep at times.
No? Do you see that big hand pointing a finger at you?
Yes, sometimes.
Was your sermon directed at anyone in particular?
What do you think?
Did you make up that story about the pillow?
Yes, one makes up little stories to illustrate in the tradition of the parable.
But aren't the things that actually happen in life more worthy of an interpretation than a made-up story?
No. Things that happen in life are beyond interpretation. The truth makes for a bad sermon. It tends to be confusing and doesn't have a clear conclusion.
I received a letter from my brother in Maryland. He's very sick.
Probably you should go see him.
I can't leave my class.
How's Donald Muller doing?
I don't know.
You don't see him.
I see him every day, but I don't know how he's doing. I don't know how to judge these things now.
I've stopped speaking to him for the fear of being misunderstood. Isn't that a shame? I actually avoided the boy the other day when I may have crossed him in the hall. He doesn't understand why. I noticed that you didn't come to me for confession.
No, I went to Monsignor Benedict. He's very kind.
And I wasn't.
No, it wasn't that. As you know why.
You're against me,
No,
but you're not convinced.
it's not for me to be convinced one way or the other. It's Sister Aloysius.
Are you just an extension of her?
She's my superior.
What do you think?
I wish I knew nothing whatever about it. I wish the idea had never entered my mind.
How did it enter your mind?
Sister Aloysius.
I feel as if my reputation has been damaged through no fault of mine. But I'm reluctant to take the steps necessary to repair it for fear of causing further harm. It's frustrating, I can tell you that.
Is it true?
What?
You know what I'm asking.
No, it's not true.
I don't know what to believe.
How can you take sides against me?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. I've done nothing wrong. There is no substance to any of this. The most innocent action, sister, appears sinister to the poisoned mind. I had to throw the boy off the altar. He's devastated. The only reason I didn't go to the Monsignor is because I don't want to tear this school apart. Sister Aloysius would most definitely lose her position as principal if I make her allegations known, since they are baseless. You may lose your place as well.
Are you threatening me?
What do you take me for? Of course not.
I want to believe you.
Then do it. It's as simple as that.
It's not for me to be convinced.
Have nothing to prove to her.
She's determined
To what?
to protect the boy.
I care for that boy, not her. Have you ever seen her reach out a helping hand to that boy or any other child for that matter? She is like a block of ice. Children need warmth, kindness, and understanding. What does she give them? Rules. That boy is not going to make it here unless we give him a helping hand. But if she has her way, he is going to be left to his own undoing. Sister, why do you think he was in the sacristy drinking altar wine? He is in trouble. She sees me talking to a child in a human way. She thinks there is something wrong, something dirty. But I'm not going to let her keep the parish in the dark ages. And I'm not going to let her destroy my spirit of compassion.
I'm sure that's not her intent.
I care for the congregation,
I know you do.
like you do for your class. You love them, don't you?
Yes.
That's natural. How else do you relate to children? I can look at your face and know your philosophy. Kindness.
I don't know. I mean, of course.
What do you suppose Sister Aloysius' philosophy is?
I don't have to suppose. She's told me. She discourages warmth. She suggested that I be more formal.
There are many who go after your humanity, sister, who tell you that the light in your heart is your weakness, that your soft feelings betray you. I don't believe that. It's an old trick of cruel people to kill kindness in the name of love, not disapproval, suspicion and judgment, love of people. Have you found Sister Aloysius to be a positive inspiration?
I don't want to misspeak, but no. She's taken away my joy of teaching, and I loved teaching more than anything else.
It's alright. You're going to be alright?
I feel like everything is upside down.
And it isn't. Many times we feel lost, but we are not alone with it. There are many of us.
A bond. I'd better go in.
I'm sorry your brother is ill.
Thank you, Father. I don't believe it.
You don't?
No.
Thank you, sister. That's a great relief to me. Thank you very much.
Come in. Ah, Mrs. Miller.
Yes.
Come in. Please have a seat.
I thought I might have got the wrong day when you didn't answer the door.
Well, just between the two of us, I was listening to a transistor radio. Look how tiny they're making the earpiece. I confiscated from one of the students and I found out I couldn't stop listening to it myself.
You like music?
Not really. News reports. I used to listen to all the reports when my husband fought in the war in Italy and died. And, now, when I found this radio, I found myself listening to it all over again. Although there's no war and the voices have changed.
You were a married woman.
Yes. My husband was killed. Will your husband be joining us today?
He couldn't get off work.
Yes, of course. It was too much to ask.
How's Donald doing?
But he's doing fine. He's passing his subjects. He's getting average grades.
That's good. He was upset at being taken off the altar boys.
Did he explain why?
He said he was caught drinking wine.
That is the reason.
That sounds fair. But sister, he's a good boy. He fell down there, but he's a good boy down the line. And he knows what an opportunity he has here. I think the whole thing has just been a bit much for him.
What do you mean, the whole thing?
Well, he's the only colored in his class, the only one in the school. That would be a lot for a boy.
I suppose it is. But he has to do the work, of course.
He is doing it though, right?
Yes, he's doing all right. How is he at home?
His father beat the hell out of him over that wine.
He shouldn't do that.
You don't tell my husband what to do. You just stand back. He didn't want Donald to come here.
Why not?
He thought he'd have a lot of trouble with the other boys, you know. But I don't think that's happened as far as I can make out.
Good.
That means Father Flynn, he's been looking out for him.
Yes, have you met Father Flynn?
Not exactly, no. I mean, I've seen him on the altar, but not met him face to face. But just, heard from Donald.
What does Donald say?
Oh, Father Flynn this and Father Flynn that. He really looks up to the man. The man gives him his time, which is what the boy needs. He needs that.
Mrs. Miller, we may have a problem.
I figured. Principal's a big job. And if you're going to stop your day to talk to me, then it must be something. But I just want to say though, it's just till June.
Excuse me?
Whatever the problem is, Donald just has to make it here till June. After that, he's off to high school.
Right.
If Donald can graduate from this school, then he has a chance of getting into a better high school. And that would mean an opportunity at college. And he's intelligent, and he wants it too.
I don't see anything that will get in the way of his graduating with his class.
That's all I care about then. Anything else is fine by me.
I doubt that.
Try me.
I'm concerned about the relationship between Father Flynn and your son.
You don't say. Concerned? What do you mean, concerned?
That it may not be right.
Uh-huh. Well, there's something wrong with everybody, isn't there? One's got to be forgiving.
No, I'm concerned, to be frank, that Father Flynn may have made advances on your son.
May have made.
I'm not certain.
There's no evidence?
No.
Then maybe there's nothing to it.
I know there's something to it.
I'd rather not look at it that way, if you don't mind.
I can understand if this is hard to hear. I think Father Flynn gave Donald that altar wine.
Why would he do that?
Has Donald been acting strangely?
No,
Nothing out of the ordinary?
he's been himself.
Oh,
Look, sister, I don't want any trouble, and I feel like you're on the march somehow.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
I think I understand what you're getting at, and I don't want to get into it.
What's that?
Not to be disagreeing with you, sister, but if we're talking about something floating around between this priest and my son, then that's not my son's fault.
I'm not suggesting it is.
He's just a boy.
I know.
12 years old. If anyone should be blamed for anything, it should be the man, not the boy.
I agree with you completely.
You agree with me, but I'm sitting here in the principal's office answering questions about my son. Why isn't the priest in the principal's office, if you know what I mean, and you pardon me for bringing it up?
Mrs. Miller, you're here because I'm concerned about your son's welfare.
You think I'm not?
Of course you are.
Let me ask you something. Do you really think that priest gave Donald that wine to drink?
Yes, I do.
Then how come Donald got kicked off the altar boys if it was the man that gave it to him?
Because the boy got caught, not the man.
Why wasn't the priest kicked off the priesthood?
Perhaps you should let me talk. I think you're unnecessarily getting upset.
Sister, I'll tell you why it is that my son got the whole blame. That was easy because that's the way it is, and that's the way it's always been. You're only just finding out, sister. But you're not going up against no man in a robe and winning, sister. He's got the position.
And he's got your son.
Let him have him then.
What?
It's just in June.
Do you know what you're saying?
I know more about it than you.
I believe this man has already created an improper relationship with your son.
I don't know.
I know I'm right.
Why do you need to know this, sister, when you don't know if you're right? You've got some kind of righteous cause going against this priest, and you want to drag my son into this. My boy doesn't need additional difficulties. Let him take the good when he leaves this place in June, and leave the rest. He knows how to do that. I've taught him how to do that.
What kind of mother are you?
Excuse me, sister, but I don't think you know enough to say a thing like that.
I know enough.
You know the rules, perhaps, but that doesn't cover it.
I know what I won't accept.
You accept what you've got to accept, and you live with it. That's the truth, I know. Sorry to be so sharp, sister, but you're sitting here in this room.
The man is in my school.
But he has to be somewhere. And maybe he's doing some good too. Did that occur to you?
He's after the boys.
Well, maybe some of those boys want to be caught. Maybe what you don't know about my son is that he is that way. That's why his father beat him up, not the wine. He beat up Donald for being what he is.
What are you telling me?
I'm talking about his nature now, not anything he's done. But you can't blame a child for what God made him to be.
Listen, Mrs. Muller, I'm only interested in facts. It's hard enough that I have to get to the bottom of a case of a man like that.
But there's his nature.
Oh, let's leave that out of it.
Then forget it then. You're the one forcing people to say these things out loud. Sometimes things are in the air and we just leave them be. That's the truth I know. My boy is here because they would have killed him in that public school. So we were lucky enough to get him in here for his final year. Good. His father doesn't like him. He comes here. The kids don't like him. One man is good to him, this priest. Stretches a hand out to the boy. Does the man have his reasons? Yes. Everybody has their reasons. You have your reasons. Do I ask the man why he's good to my son? No, I don't care why. My son needs some man to be good to him and take him where he needs to go. And thank God that this man, educated and with some kindness in him, does just that.
This just won't do.
Please, sister, sometimes things are not black and white.
And sometimes they are. I will throw your boy out of the school, make no mistake.
But why would you do that if nothing started with him?
Because it won't stop with it, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of it.
Throw the priest out then.
I'm trying to do just that.
Well, what do you want from me?
Nothing, as it turns out. I was hoping that you would have some information that could help me. But clearly you don't.
Please, sister, leave my son out of this. His father will kill him over a thing like this.
I'll try.
I don't know, sister. You may think you're doing good, but this world's a hard place. I don't know that you and I are on the same side. I'll be standing with my son and those who are good with my son. It would be nice to see you there. Good day, sister. Nice talking to you.
May I come in?
We would need a third party.
What's Donald's mother doing here?
We were having a chat.
About what?
A third party is truly required, Father.
No, sister, no third party. You and I are due for a talk. You have to stop this campaign against me.
You can stop it at any time.
How?
Confess and resign.
You are attempting to destroy my reputation. The result of all this is going to be your removal, not mine.
What are you doing in this school?
I'm trying to do good.
And even more to the point, what are you doing in this priesthood?
You are single-handedly holding the parish and the school back.
From what?
A progressive education and a welcoming church.
You can't distract me, Father Flynn. This is not about my behavior, it's about yours.
It's about your unfounded suspicions.
That's right, I have suspicions.
What I don't understand is, why do you suspect me? What have I done?
What does it matter?
I want to know. You think I have given that sacristy wine to him?
Yes.
Did you speak to Mr. McGinn about it?
Yes. Mr. Meggin, all Mr. Meggin knows that the boy drank altar wine. He doesn't know how he came to do it.
Did Donald's mother have anything to add to it?
No.
So there's nothing to it.
I'm not satisfied.
If you're not satisfied, go ask the boy then.
He'll deny it. And that's what he's been doing all along to protect you.
Why would he do that?
Because you have seduced him.
You are completely insane. You've got it in your head that I've corrupted the boy after giving him wine, and nothing I'm going to say is going to change that.
That's right.
But correct me if I'm wrong. This has nothing to do with the wine. Not really. You've had a fundamental mistrust of me even before this incident. It was you who has warned Sister James to be on the lookout.
That's true.
So you admit it.
Certainly.
Why?
I know people.
That's not good enough.
It will have to do.
How's that?
You will tell me what you have done.
Oh, I will?
Yes.
I'm not one of your truant boys, you know. Sister James is convinced I'm perfectly innocent.
Oh, so you spoke to Sister James. Of course you spoke to Sister James.
Did you know that Donald's father beats him?
Yes,
Might that not be reason for the odd behavior Sister James noticed?
it might.
So what is it? What? What have you heard? What have you seen that's convinced you so thoroughly?
What does it matter?
I want to know!
On the first day of school, I saw you touch William London's wrist and I saw him pull away.
That's all?
That's all?
That's nothing.
What are you writing down?
You're not giving me a choice. I'm writing down what you're saying. I tend to get flustered in an upsetting conversation to remember the details. And this may be important when I speak to the Monsignor and explain to him why you have to be removed as the principal of the school.
This morning, before my meeting with Mrs. Miller, I took the liberty of calling the parish to which you were previously assigned.
What did he say?
What did who say?
The pastor.
I didn't call the pastor, I spoke to one of the nuns.
That's not the proper route for you to take in, sister. The church is very clear. You have to go through the pastor.
Why? Do you and he have an understanding? Oh, Father Flynn, you have history.
You have no right rummaging through my past.
This is your third parish in 5 years.
Call the pastor and ask him why I left. It's perfectly innocent.
I'm not calling the pastor.
I'm a good priest. There is nothing in my record to suggest otherwise.
You will go after one child and after another until you're stopped.
Which nun did you speak to?
I won't say.
I haven't touched a child.
Yes, you have.
You have no proof of anything.
But I have my certainty, and armed with that, I will go to your previous parish and the one before that. Make no mistake, Father Flynn. I will get to the bottom of this until you are exposed. You might even be attacked, metaphorically or otherwise.
You have no right to act on your own. You belong to a religious order. You have taken vows, obedience being one of them. You answer to us. You have no right to step outside the church.
And I will step outside the church, even if that means that that door is permanently closed behind me. Make no mistake, I will get to the bottom of this, even if I'm damned to hell. Did you give Donald Mueller that wine to drink?
Have you never done anything wrong?
I have.
Mortal sin?
Yes,
And?
I've confessed it. Now, did you give Donald Mueller that wine to drink?
Whatever I have done, I've left it in the healing hands of my confessor. As have you. You and I are the same.
We are not the same. A dog that bites is a dog that bites. I do not justify what I do wrong. I confess it, I desist it, and take my medicine. Now, did you give Donald Mueller that wine to drink?
No.
You lie. Very well then. If you won't leave my office, I will. And when I go, I will not stop.
Wait.
You will request for a transfer from this parish. You will apply for a leave of absence from St. Nicholas School indefinitely.
And do what for the love of God? My life is here.
Don't.
Please. Are we people? Am I a person, flesh and blood? Or are we just ideas and convictions? I can't say everything, sister. Do you understand? There are things that I cannot say. Even if you cannot imagine the explanation, there are circumstances beyond your knowledge. What you feel as certainty is an emotion and not a fact. In the spirit of charity, I appeal to you. On behalf of my life's work, you have to behave more responsibly. I leave myself in your hands.
I don't want you.
My reputation is at stake.
You can preserve your reputation.
If we go on like this, I cannot continue my work in the community.
Your work in the community should be stopped.
You leave me with nothing.
That's not true. It's that boy, Donald Mueller, who's left with nothing, and you let him take the blame.
I didn't do anything wrong. I care for that boy.
Because you smile at him and sympathize with him as if you and he were the same?
The boy needed a friend.
You are a cheat. That warm look the warm feeling that you experienced when that little boy looked at you with trust is not a feeling of virtue. It can be got by a drunkard from a tot of rum. You are a disgrace to the collar. And the only reason why you haven't been thrown out of the church is because of the decline in the vocations.
I can fight you.
You will lose.
You can't know that.
I know that.
Where is your compassion, sister?
No way you can get it. Stay here. Compose yourself. Use the phone if you like. Good day, Father. I know you're invulnerable to true regret. And cut your nails!
Yes. Yeah, hello. This is Father Brendan Flynn from the St. Nicholas Parish. I need an appointment to meet the bishop, please.
How's your brother doing?
Better. Much better.
Good. I prayed for him.
It felt good to get away for a while. It had been too long since I saw my family. I needed that.
I'm glad you did it.
And Father Flynn is gone.
Yes.
Where?
St. Jerome's.
So you did it. You got him out.
Yes.
Donald Mueller is heartbroken that he's gone.
Can't be helped. It's only until June.
I don't think Father Flynn did anything wrong.
No? He convinced you?
Yes, he did. Did you ever prove it?
Prove what?
That he interfered with Donald Mueller?
Prove to whom?
To anyone but yourself.
No.
But you were sure.
Yes.
I wish I could be like you.
Why?
Because I can't sleep anymore. Everything seems uncertain to me.
Perhaps we shouldn't sleep so well. They have appointed Father Flynn, the pastor of St. Jerome's.
Who?
The bishop appointed Father Flynn, the pastor of St. Jerome's church and school. It's a promotion.
You didn't tell them?
I did. I even crossed the garden and told Monsignor Benedict, but he wouldn't believe me.
Then why did Father Flynn leave? What did you tell to make him leave?
That I called one of the nuns in the parish that he previously served at and learned of his infringements.
So you did prove it?
I was lying. I made no such call.
You lied?
Yes, but if Father Flynn had no such history, the lie wouldn't have worked. His resignation was his confession. He was what I thought he was, and now he's gone.
I can't believe you lied.
When we are faced with wrongdoing and the need to act, we do step away from God. Of course, there's a price.
I see. So now he's in another school.
Yes. Sister James,
What is it, sister?
I have doubts. I have such doubts.